guys, welcome to this week's What's for Dinner. I have not done one of these in a while, but I was super excited to get back to them. This week is going to be all about the soups. It's getting colder outside, and there's nothing better to me than coming home to a big pot of homemade soup. So tonight is Monday, and we are going to be making some chicken pot pie soup. And this is a really good, quick, and easy alternative to a traditional chicken pot pie if you're wanting that chicken pot pie without kind of the hassle and the fuss of having to bake a pie crust. So it's really super easy and simple. We just start off with melting a stick of butter, and then we add some onions and carrots and some celery into that and let them cook for a while until our celery and onions are translucent. And you're just going to let these saute and let those carrots kind of get a head start on cooking before you add the rest of the vegetables.
Okay, so while all of this is cooking, I've just got some celery, onions, and carrots in there with some salt and pepper. I'm going to show you what else is going to be in this. I've got 2 bags of like pre-portioned peas, and then a bag of corn. And then I've got a large jar, it's a 26-ounce can of cream of chicken, a can of green beans, and then 3 cans of chicken broth. And I am not measuring anything, or I'm not going to buy a recipe. I'm just kind of doing what I feel like it needs throughout this. But we're going to let this cook up. I'm going to cook my chicken in a separate kettle, cut it up, and then add it into this pot. And then we're going to add the other vegetables in here. We're going to add the green beans and the potatoes. And when we add the potatoes, we're going to add the chicken broth and let it boil for a while until the potatoes are soft. Then we're going to add the cream of chicken and then the corn and the peas. I want to add in the peas last because I don't want them to cook up a ton. So I'll let you know like in what order I'm going to put everything. But your carrots are going to be like your most dense vegetable along with your potatoes. So those need to like spend the most time in the pot. Break it in there, buddy. Chicken pot pie soup is done, and it's really, really good. I'll give you guys the recipe. I didn't really measure anything. I just kind of put it in there. And then we've got just some canned biscuits we're going to put in the oven, and that's going to be our crust to our chicken pot pie. Okay, so I try to clean out our pantry a little bit, and I've got things back here to make. I can't think of the name. Cheese tortellini soup, and then I've got stuff back here to make French onion soup one night, and then this stuff is to make taco soup one day. So I hope you guys like all the soup recipes, and I hope you all give them a try and let me know how your family likes them.
Hey y'all, it is Tuesday and tonight for supper we're gonna have taco soup. This week I just really wanted to dedicate it solely to some of our favorite soups. I am extremely ready for fall time, and no better way to get ready for fall time than some of our most comforting, cozy soup recipes. So I will show you guys everything we're using tonight in our taco soups and a couple tips and tricks on how to make supper or dinner time or lunchtime go so much smoother throughout your busy work week. So let's get on into it. Okay, so here are all of our canned goods that we're going to add to the soup. So we've got mild and original rotel. We got 3 cans of corn. I don't know if we'll use all this corn, but we're just going to eyeball it. Then we got 3 cans of these whole peeled tomatoes, and I'm going to blend these up so they're a lot more smoother. And then we've got a can of tomato sauce. So I'm going to share with you guys a little tip that makes this taco soup so easy. Right here is what makes it super, super easy and quick. Yesterday when I was cutting up onions for that chicken pot pie soup, I just went ahead and cut up my onions I need for tonight. And then this tub, while we were doing dishes and had everything dirty, I went ahead and got out a skillet and browned all of our ground beef for this week. And this is 2 pounds of ground beef and a pound of ground turkey. So this is 3 pounds of meat, and we're going to use it for this soup and maybe a soup or two later in the week. And then this is all of the spices we're going to use. So I've got 2 packets each of taco soup and ranch dip mix, but we may not use all of this. I'm just going to eyeball it. And then I've got some cilantro leaves, some cumin, and some cayenne pepper just to give it a little bit of a kick. Okay, so we're going to start off with melting some butter in this big pot and sauteing our onions. Okay, and I about forgot to show you guys all of our toppings. We have got just some shredded cheese over here, an avocado, some sour cream, some of this Gordo's cheese dip. It tastes identical almost to what you get at the Mexican restaurants. And then this salsa we got from Kroger. I don't know if it'll focus on it, but it is so, so good. And I had never tried it, but it's really, really sweet. So if you don't like a really sweet salsa, you might want to get the hotter one, the medium. But this is really good. I really liked it. Okay, so I'm going to add Okay, so after I just threw the cilantro everywhere, I'm going to add a teaspoon of this. It's my little, what I have left. Well, I guess plus what is in this pot that fell. So I'm going to add a teaspoon, a little bit more, give or take, of cilantro. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of cumin. And then I'm going to add just a little dash of cayenne, because we don't like it very spicy. Or I don't anyway, and I'm cooking tonight, so I'm not going to make it very spicy. Okay, I'm going to add another teaspoon of cilantro.
and another teaspoon of cumin. We're gonna add the third can. This is the big mess I made when I threw that cilantro. Gonna have to clean Shadow's little dog bowl and everything. Gosh.
And you can top it with whatever you want, but I just put some shredded cheese on mine, sour cream and salsa with some diced up avocados, and I also eat it with some tortilla shells or tortilla chips, and it is so good.
Okay, so this is all of my stuff I'm going to put in my French onion soup. I've got some beef consomme, some onion dip mix, a stick of butter, and some thyme over here. And then I've also got some like beef bouillon flavor. If I need some extra, I can add this in there. But I'm just going to add our stick of butter with our onions, and then I'm going to chop up some garlic to go in here too. So I'm going to add my 1 stick of butter in here and let it melt, and when it's melted I'm going to add all my onions in here. And in this bowl I've got 8 just finely sliced onions that I'm going to add into this pan once our butter gets melted. So I'm going to add some ground up pepper in here.
So now I'm going to add in the wine and thyme and let it cook for a couple minutes to let the alcohol cook out. Then I'm going to add half a can of that beef consomme along with my water that I'm going to add in here. And now I'm just adding a little bit of water with some flour in it to try to kind of thicken up the broth, because I don't want it super runny, but I don't also want this really thick. So hopefully this will just kind of slightly thicken it up a little bit so it's not so runny. Now I'm going to add the rest of that beef consomme in there. I tried it to see if it needed anything, and it tasted fine, so I'm going to go ahead and get our bread in the oven so it can toast up. And this is what's going to go on the top of our soup so the cheese won't sink down in our soup when we broil it. So you're going to leave these in the oven just until they're golden brown.
Our little toasted bread on the top. I'm going to try to cover like the whole top with the little croutons. It's just like the thinly sliced French bread, and we broiled it in the oven for a little bit. So I'm going to cover the top with these. And then I'm going to put some Parmesan, and the recipe calls for like, I don't know, some kind of other white cheese, but we didn't have it, so we just used some that we had on hand. So we've got some Parmesan, and then I'm going to put some mozzarella on it, and then we're just going to put these in the oven on broil for a little bit. And you just want to put them in the oven for broil, like to broil until the top gets brown. Okay, that's what it looks like. So we're gonna put these in the oven and get the cheese melted and get it kind of golden brown, and then it'll be ready.
So this is what it looks like when it comes out of the oven, but I'm so glad you guys came and spent some time with me today. I want to thank you all so much for your support. And if you haven't already, I would love for you guys to press the subscribe button along with that like button if you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all in the next one.